What up, world? It's your boy, expelled, and this is Riding Dirty News. All right, let's get right into it, man. First of all, I want to say I hope everyone is staying safe in the midst of the coronavirus, COVID-19, the pandemic. All right, so two Georgia students, matter of fact, Carrollton, Georgia students to be exact, two high school students, seniors, have been expelled for posting a racist video to TikTok. That's right, Carrollton, Georgia. Racist still lives very, very heavily and raises his head during these trying times. That's right, two students took to TikTok. They filmed this episode in the bathroom and they imitated a cooking show, and they done basically the creation of a nigger. All right, ninja. I'm gonna say ninja. The creation of a ninja. The first thing they said was take a black. They poured into the sink. They had the word ninja. Then they took a cup and it was said take a black, and they poured it into the sink. Then the next they said, all right, have no dad. Poured it into the sink, cup full of water. And then the next ingredient they had was go to jail. Poured it into the sink. The next ingredient was make wise decision. Oh no, this cup is empty. And so on and so on. Take from people, especially white people. Poured their ingredient into the sink. The one thing I have to say is I got to say kudos in one time for the Carrollton City School Superintendent, Dr. Mark Albertus, for coming out making a statement Friday, basically saying that this behavior is unacceptable and is not a representation of the school district and what they're teaching their students. And these two students were quickly expelled. Now, the one thing I hope is these kids are not allowed to go to school anywhere, because this type of conduct in 2020 is, you know what, it's not acceptable at all. But the thing that worries and triggers me the most about this situation is, what are these children's parents teaching them? What make them feel like it was okay to post something like this on TikTok? Who did they think would find this funny? Now, the funny thing is, this, before it was removed from TikTok, a lot of students basically took it, downloaded it, and put it on Twitter. Now, I don't know if the students who put it out there, if they were intending on spreading it for humor or spreading it for these kids to get in trouble. But trouble they definitely found. Now, this is the thing I got to ask you. As an elder statesman for the African American community, Caucasians, people of other races, when things like this happen, this is when we need you guys to step up, step to the plate and say, look, this is unacceptable. Yes, these children are expelled, but no school, whether it's a charter school or private school, should accept these children with these thoughts and this behavior. This is just insane that they can take to a social media platform which is occupied by all races, all nationalities throughout the world, and post this. I don't even know why TikTok, I know they don't screen what we put up, but I don't know how it stayed on TikTok for so long that it could go viral, because this has definitely went viral. Now, these two students, because of their age, their names have not been given, so I'm not going to say it, but you can definitely find their names all over the internet. The one thing I gotta say, parents, definitely parents who are teaching their kids these despicable things and acts of racism. What makes this okay? We've had an African American president. We've had African Americans accomplish all feats of the world. Every aspect of the world, African Americans have occupied that space somehow or another. How is there still room for racism? How is there still room for racism when we're in the middle of a pandemic? We have people dying at alarming rates due to a virus that just came out of nowhere. How do your kids have the time to be racist? What are you teaching these kids in your home? Do you not feel bad? Like, the parents of these two should be ecstatic. But really, more than that, they should be embarrassed. All right? Because even in 2020, this video, and I'm going to put the link to the video in the comments area, but this video is remnants of what's still going on. Even though we have people walking hand in hand of all races and all colors getting things done, we still have two high school students, which means these two will grow up to be racist adults and probably have kids that they'll teach to be racist. And there's no room for this. Now, I know there'll be a school somewhere that'll let them in, but me personally, I don't think no school should want these two to attend their school. because they could be venomous, they could be poisonous to other students. We, as Americans, we as loving people of this earth, we have to figure out a way to abolish racism. Let's stop passing it on. Let's stop teaching it to our kids. And let's stop making things like this acceptable. Anyone who clicked like on this video, you're just as much at fault. The parents of these two, you're just as much at fault. The grandparents of these two, you're just as much at fault. Anyone who finds humor in it, you are at fault. And you need to have your head checked. Alright? Alright. I'm going to drop the link. Y'all check it out. And y'all let me know what you think. It's your boy Vic Excel, Riding Dirty News. Y'all definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let me know what y'all think. Should these kids be allowed to go to someone else's school? All right? Y'all have a wonderful evening. Peace.